Okay, so of course summer is only 3 weeks away. We all prepare for it, whichever way, like working out or getting tan, but we always look for quick alternatives for everything. So tanning started all the way back to the 1920s. Coco Chanel, she was the one who originally said that, oh, tanning is the in thing. So basically if you were tan, it was represented you had a lot of youth, you were healthy, and it represented your status. So today I'm going to talk about what tanning really is and what it means to our skin, why tanning beds are bad, and safer alternatives. So what is tanning? Tanning is a reaction that our skin has to the UV rays in the sun and into the UVA, UVB rays in tanning beds. We have things in our skin called melanocytes. They produce the dark brown melanin pigment in our skin, and melanin is also the reason for our dark brown hair, for the color of your eyes, and sometimes for animals, the color of their fur. So when you get tan, it's usually the top layer of your skin. There are 3 main layers of skin. So you have your epidermis, which is the first one. You have your dermis, which is the middle layer, and the hypodermis, which is the last layer. So we probably think that when we get tan or when we get sunburned, it's only the epidermis, the top layer of your skin. When it's really, if you get a bad enough burn, like a 3rd-degree burn, it hits the dermis, which causes blistering, redness of the skin, of course, itching, peeling, and sometimes if it's bad enough, it can cause scarring. So why are tanning beds bad? So first of all, people misuse tanning beds. You shouldn't use them at all, but sometimes people will go in for a maximum amount of time, like 20 minutes, because that's the max. So if you go in and you spend less time, and ask you to spend less time, it's because they're using a more powerful type of tanning bed. So just imagine how much more dangerous that can be. The UV rays that are in tanning beds are UVA and UVB. The UVA enhances the cancer-causing effects of UVB rays. An Australian study shows that the UVA penetrates more deeply into the skin, and it can cause more skin cell damage. Age, health, your skin type, those are all factors of how people will react to the UVA and UVB exposures in tanning beds. Also, if you have an immune deficiency or a chronic disease, you're more susceptible to the side effects of UV rays. And of course, an obvious deadly effect of the UVA and UVB rays is skin cancer, which is melanoma. It usually appears on your skin as dark brown moles or sometimes oddly colored moles. You can detect if you have melanoma by the A, B, C, D, E's of melanoma detection. So A is for asymmetry. If you can fold it in half, if you can picture your mole, fold it in half, and it's not matching, then that means you could possibly have melanoma. The border around it, if it's pink or if it's other colors or if it's a little scarry, then that's also melanoma. The color of it, it can range from sometimes greenish, a little purpley, and really dark brown. The diameter and a safe, type of mole is only 6 millimeters in size, but sometimes the melanoma mole can be smaller, so you really should get it checked out. And lastly, evolving. If you notice that you have a mole that starts off small, kind of oddly colored, and it continues to grow, then that's definitely melanoma. So overexposure to UV radiation can worsen your immune system. So say if you already have an immune deficiency, tanning just increases that. The skin's natural defenses. So if you were to get a cut, a scrape, bruises, all that kind of stuff, your skin is not able to repair as quickly as it would be if you didn't use tanning beds. You also become more sensitive to sunlight, your skin, and it diminishes the effect of immunizations that you get, or it can cause reactions to medicines. So lastly, I have a testimonial from skinphysician.com. A woman, of course now, started out at 14. Her name was Kimberly Sanga. She, of course, wanted to be really in with the crowd, and she wanted to kill her tan. So the dangers of tanning, of course, everyone knows them, but they didn't really faze her. She probably didn't think that, oh, it's going to affect me. So she signed up at 14 for unlimited sessions at a tanning salon. Now, 20 skin cancer surgeries later, she's realized the dangers. It's kind of sad that it took her 20 surgeries. Now she has 40 plus lesions removed from her skin. So to increase chances of finding skin cancer at the earliest stage, she always checks her moles. So the cure rate for, on average, is 95%. So every other day, her and her husband check her moles. So she's really grateful for her husband to check the ones on her back. So he makes it his responsibility to catch them. So of course they examine the size, the shape, and the color of them. Her current count of moles right now is 72. So lastly are the safe alternatives. So of course the obvious lotion and sprays, or just not going in the sun and just protecting your skin from the sun with sunblock. So lotions and sprays, they're not the actual thing from bed tanning, but they're super, they're natural looking. You can go to any drugstore, purchase any type of lotion or spray. You can get a spray tan professionally done, but that seems a little bit more costly, or you can just do it yourself. Lotions really help. I use lotions throughout the entire year. They don't look fake. You know, they're nice looking. They're really messy, but I think that when it comes to your skin and being at risk for skin cancer, a little mess doesn't really matter.
Kyle, are you here? What did you think?
That was pretty well structured, pretty good organization throughout the whole thing. I like how she stated all the facts and then gave the story, so that way we could know the terminology she was using in the story, like the melanoma and monocytes. The thing I've noticed the first was her leg was shifting around a lot, her crossing and uncrossing. But overall, I think she had, like I said, great structure, and I like the conclusion, the nice little tagline at the end was that little wrap up of everything.
All right. All right. There's a little bit of setup of the topic, but I think it could be a lot more interesting, and you could pull the audience in with a good emotional appeal at the beginning. I don't know exactly what the specific purpose statement is. I have to infer it from what the secondary claims are, and the secondary claims are nicely laid out, so I have a pretty good idea where this is headed, but it should be a little bit clearer, and I shouldn't have to be working that hard as a listener. In the body of the speech, I'd agree that it's pretty well organized, but I often felt like I was moving from one point to the next very suddenly and abruptly. There aren't really smooth transitions, and sometimes we're going from a fact or a statistic you're talking about into the very next issue, and that felt awkward on more than one occasion. In several places, it felt like the topic just changed arbitrarily, like you hit the parachute on the back of the Batmobile and suddenly we're changed directions. So you need to be a little smoother about those kinds of things. The information that you have at the beginning, there's a lot of information about the process that you were talking about that produces the harms and the different kinds of tanning, the different levels of the skin and those kinds of things. And then it just felt like we got all this background information, and then you rush through a description of, the next thing I know, I'm going from the different levels of the skin to, oh my gosh, I've got third-degree burns here, and it just felt like you had progressed so quickly that it was awkward. I did like the example that you used in the last point where you're talking about the woman who's, was not careful about using the tanning beds, and as a result has had a lifelong problem keeping track of skin cancer and trying to watch out for those lesions. I think that gives a good illustration of the point that you're talking about. You do sound a little bit like you were rushing through the presentation, so you could pace yourself more. You've got plenty of time, and I don't think you'd have a problem there. You need to have a little bit more control over the content and, like I said, the movement between the points. I think that would help. All right, thank you.